Okay, so today do we have something different for you, and this one it goes by the name of In Other Waters on the Nintendo Switch. A game that pushes against the norm, shall we say, with video games as we largely know them, you know, the action, the fancy graphics, the complicated control mechanics. Instead, this one it's relying largely on a narrative experience where it paints a picture of a world with words and then leaves it to you to visualize them for yourself. A bold move for sure, but the big question as always, does it deliver and make me, feel like an aquatic adventurer? Think something like this? Or is it simply a miss? I'm hoping for the Wes Anderson of video games here, so hit subscribe if you love the Switch as much as we do, and yeah, let's get started. So here you're going to be taking on the role of an artificial intelligence in what is essentially an advanced diving suit. The person inside this suit is main protagonist and xenobiologist Ellery Fass, who found herself summoned to this alien planet, Planet Galice I think it's pronounced, by our old friend and scientist Monet Nomura. On arrival though, she finds out there's a lot more here than she anticipated, and perhaps one of the biggest discoveries in human history: aquatic alien life, and a whole lot of it. The questions though, what is this life form? Where is Monet? Why did Monet ask you to come? Well, there lies the mystery of In Other Waters, a part alien life research game, part missing person mystery adventure. Now your role in all of this, it's to control the suit itself, which protects Ellery. She for some reason has no control herself, so she's relying very much on you. What made this one so unique for me at a story level, it was the relationship between yourself and Ellery. Watching that bond form between you, from discussions around the work at hand to her personal life and history with Monet. Most importantly though, it's the amazing character writing for Ellery, as she describes in great detail what she sees and hears, what's happening around her, how she feels. Without her, honestly, this game would not work at all. She is very much the backbone of the whole experience, providing you with moments of beauty, fear and desperation. Now because of Ellery's words, I can tell you now I felt the exhilaration in this storyline, the excitement of a new discovery, the fear as I descended deeper, and then of course I've got to say the edge of my seat nerves as she panicked. It made me very much care about a character that was nothing more honestly than a yellow dot on my screen. Overall, the story though, it's well paced, it has a great payoff, and it even addresses some opinions it has of our own world and our treatment of it, which I wholeheartedly agree with. Story wise, it's an incredible piece of work. So gameplay is relatively simple, as I'm sure you guessed, but it's not to say you won't be constantly managing some sort of system or making a decision here. Here's the core concept: operate the user interface you see on screen over the topographic map showing Ellery's location. This encompasses everything from setting waypoints for movement, sending Ellery deeper into the waters, using the scanner to discover new points of interest, and then even collecting samples when in close proximity with some of this alien life. So from here you can expect to then use these samples for varying abilities, from just simple research that pushes the story forward, to ones that will clear out new paths, or ones that will replenish your suit's power and oxygen levels. Now later, due to the small amount of items you can carry as well, I will say expect some minor resource management responsibilities, as you have to make a judgment and project what you're going to be needing on the next leg of the journey and what you can afford to leave behind. While this might sound very dry, Ellery is again to the rescue with fantastic dialogue. She's detailing every single scan you make, every life sign she sees, and occasionally even having full-blown conversations with you where you can respond with a simple yes-no system. Finally, you can also control a terminal which allows you to upload data, but also, most importantly, call for a drone to rescue you at any moment. Now this drone will return you to what becomes your main base, and it's available from like the first 20 minutes or so of gameplay, and it just provides a location for you to study samples, read log entries and view a map to set up your next objective. This is where a whole lot of story could easily be missed if you're not inclined to dive into quite a bit of reading. Now finally, controls, you can play this one docked or using touchscreen controls handheld. I prefer docked personally, but I will say the touchscreen controls, when I use them, they work great. My only issue, everything's kind of a bit small on screen, so I occasionally made some mistakes and it lacked the pace the Joy-Cons provided for me. My only issue with gameplay, honestly, it's the lack of a map while you're out in the ocean. As an artificial intelligence, I feel it's reasonable to expect that I could probably see my map at any point, not necessarily to tell me where I need to go, that's obviously the adventure part of this game, but give me an idea of where I've been, because often I did unintentionally find myself backtracking or just completely confused. Overall though, in Other Waters, gameplay wise, you'll be surprised how involved the controls are for you, the player. It's easy to look at my screen right now and say, you know, this looks super relaxing and I can probably chill to this one, and I will say it has a ton of moments in here where you can just do that. But I promise you, the looks of this game never really changed too much, so it's very easy to miss the moments of tension that I face, the panic, because this game knows exactly how to, you know, deliver that too. Ellery needs you and you need Ellery, and I will say this game often throws curveballs at you to try and break that bond. So graphically speaking, well, you see it all here. It's a topographical map where yellow dots of varying shapes and sizes represent different things, whether that's the next circle waypoint or something you can investigate, like alien life moving around you. For dots or the descriptions given by Ellery, I will say it makes them very much come to life. I couldn't help but get nervous when one of these things came flying towards my location at full speed. With the interface over the top then, it's clean and simple to understand, even having the option to show buttons attached to each feature. I use this personally the whole way through the game, honestly. I thought it was a great addition as reference points go, and that's really about it. Occasionally the map colour may change, or we might get a small visual effect like, let's say, gas, but yeah, not much else here in the exploration part of the gameplay. Even the base, to be honest, I'm not going to say much about it. It's basically just a few 3D line based models essentially masking a menu system. This game, it's absolutely minimalistic in its approach, and while there's very little to talk about, I think it's fair to say it's extremely stylish in its approach. They found a design they're confident in and they never deviate from it. It's also nice to see a game though that's not scared of a little colour. Not that the Switch struggles too much in that department, honestly, but still, it's better than the usual, you know, browns and greys and kind of dull colours we so often see. So last up, audio, and I love what we get here. Each action you take on the interface has a suitably mechanical response, whether that's the clicking of a spinning dial to set a waypoint, or just a simple click of a button. They all make sense while sounding nice and futuristic. Every action here, it has a sound, and that's what I like to hear. The real audio winner though, the soundtrack by Amos Roddy, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. But if you want to hear it, it's on Spotify, and I'd say right now it's a stunning piece of work, combining music with environmental effects. You can hear the alien landscape or the pressure of the ocean around you, which is then layered with classical and electronic instrumentation to produce something really special. Intensity, beauty, fear, excitement. It captures all of these moments with precision and care and perfectly in line with Ellery's dialogue. Now I gotta say, rarely do soundtracks have this level of responsibility to a game setting, and here they delivered a piece of work that just deserves, in my opinion, its own physical release. I will take a final pressing of this one right now, honestly, given the chance. Okay, so the final verdict, and if you made it this far, there's a good chance this game is for you. I'm pretty confident so many clicked off after realising the visual style never changes, or that it lacked any, real action-heavy moments. I appreciate a good character study personally, but I also respect it's somewhat of a niche market. This game's characters though, it's what you come for, and it just has so many moments that felt very human to me that I could in some way personally often relate to. Overall, it's a story that's just beautifully realised. Even its statements, they're never heavy-handed, they're never trying to force an opinion on you, simply presenting it to you, and you can do with that information what you will. It's not asking you to change, simply asking you to think. With that said though, I would also be very surprised if anyone disagrees with the opinions they're trying to present here. With around 6 hours for a first playthrough though, you may think it's a little on the short side, but the pacing is just right, never outstaying its welcome. Today I'm awarding In Other Waters an amazing 9 out of 10, and that's pretty rare over on this channel. Well, not for everyone, I will say there's no experience out there quite like this that I can name, and I walked away on nearly all fronts impressed with that feeling you really get of, I just played something absolutely original. Now, outside of the occasional bit of, unintentional backtracking and the lack of the map, there's very little here I disliked. I wasn't sure, honestly, going in, and it's absolutely made a believer of me. In fact, I've beaten this one twice because honestly, after my first playthrough, I didn't quite have the confidence to get on video and explain how this experience resonated with me personally. It was for sure a challenge to write this, and if you walk away with one thing from this video, it's the realization that you've got to experience it for yourself to truly know if it's for you. Screenshots, they're not going to cut it here, unfortunately. My only intention today was to spike your interest, and I hope for some of you I've achieved that. With that though, hit subscribe if you love the Switch as much as we do, and we'll see you all on the next video.